Developing this morning, we are in the middle of another weekend of senseless gun violence in the city, with young victims paying the price. CBS 2's Christina Fan joins us live from East New York. Christina?
Good morning, Cindy. We are standing in front of the scene of one of the latest shootings. As you can see, several damaged cars litter the ground behind us. Officers say that 3 men were injured. 1 was shot in the head, several others in the torso, and they were rushed to the hospital with critical injuries. Sirens rock New York City yet again overnight, from Inwood to East New York. Police rushed from crime scene to crime scene as fatigued neighbors wondered when this will finally end.
Very shocking, and it's just too much crime.
It's just so crazy because I'm living right there.
There were at least 7 shootings over the weekend, resulting in 13 victims, many of them teenagers. Early Saturday morning in Brownsville, a gunman fired into a group of people near the Ralph Avenue Rehab Public Housing Development, killing a 32-year-old man while injuring an innocent 18-year-old. Around 9 p.m. last night in Inwood, a 15-year-old was shot multiple times after getting into an argument.
Frightening. That's really frightening. Like that, lowers, honestly. They do need to stop the gun violence, though. They really do, for real. Because there's a lot of young kids out here that do walk by themselves, going to school at that. It really needs to stop.
The NYPD says it has reassigned officers to hotspot neighborhoods, confiscated more guns, and initiated gang takedowns in hopes of curbing the violent trend. For families living in the crosshairs, it's had little effect.
Just too much crime. If something needs to be done. Innocent children, innocent people, period. You know, it's just too much. It makes me not want to, go out and do anything anymore.
And police say just minutes after this overnight shooting in East New York, another man was shot right around the corner. Officers now looking into the possibility these 2 incidents may have been connected. We are still waiting to learn more on possible suspect information. Reporting live from East New York, Brooklyn, Christina Fan, CBS 2 News.
Christina, thank you.
More deadly gun violence in the city. Tonight, police searching for a woman who shot and killed a mother in Brooklyn at point-blank range. CBS 2's Andrea Klein-Thomas has the details.
For Delia Johnson's family, the grieving process has only begun.
They took my pretty black baby. Oh, God.
The 42-year-old was murdered Wednesday night around 9:45 on Franklin Avenue near Prospect Place. Surveillance video captured a woman casually walk up to Johnson, firing shots at point-blank range before getting back in a white SUV and driving off. Johnson was struck in the head and leg. Johnson's family doesn't understand why anyone would want to harm her.
Affectionate smile, always happy. When I feel like at my worst, this girl would get me up and be like, pull it together. She was everything, trust me.
This incident adds to growing concerns about the rise in gun violence gripping communities across the city. Police have reassigned officers to hotspot neighborhoods, confiscated more guns, and initiated gang takedowns in hopes of curbing the violent trend.
Public safety is a shared responsibility, so the police, we can't do it without your help. So if any information, please contact us.
In Corona, Queens, where brazen gunmen opened fire last week, injuring 10 people, mostly innocent bystanders. Renewed calls for more information from the community as law enforcement joined advocates for a peace march. Organizations like Street Corner Resources are called to address the trauma left behind.
They're looking around, wondering if, somebody's going to come back to shoot. They're taking their kids and cowering over them, different than being comfortable to walk to the store right down the block.
Makeshift memorials like the one for Delia Johnson only share a glimpse of the pain and anguish.
Love you.
As a community begins the process of saying goodbye.
Johnson's family believes she was lured to the location where she was killed just a few blocks from her home. They also say that officers have the name of the suspect. In Crown Heights, Brooklyn, Andrea Klein-Thomas, CBS 2 News.
is, running it down on these niggas. Sex, drugs, money, and murder, my nigga. You know how we get it, my nigga. Still be painting them bitches, my nigga. Ripping that raw, who fucking your bitches. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. 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 Niggas, they never gon' hurt you. Niggas, they never will hurt you. Sex, drugs, money, and murder. Sex, drugs, money, and murder.
Got the traps right, understand how to get that. Ran down on them niggas with a flip back, new and them.
You are here with me. Let's get this. I ain't gonna say no more. What's goody? Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Bullets Gotti. How we doing this afternoon? I said I was gonna do a new video. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you get it. See the cut, boy. You know what I'm saying? Keep the fresh. I had to take it back. I had to take it back with the dog season. You know, I'm a fade nigga. You know what I'm saying? So I had to take it back with the dog season. Give you that early Bullets Gotti look. But so, let's get into it. So, New York City is on fire, as you done heard about. It's getting crazy, it's getting spooky out here. You know what I'm saying? It's giving you that late 80s, 1990s vibes. You know what I'm saying? That crack era vibes. You know what I'm saying? But it's no money in the streets. Let's keep it real. It's no money in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't making block power moves. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody moving no packs. It's none of that. So, what's really going on in the streets is what the word of my dude Guru was saying in his record. Niggas just want to get a rap. That's all. Niggas just want to get a rap in New York City. So, it's been crazy. You know what I'm saying? You seeing, like my big bro said, niggas getting they snot box rocked. Real talk out here. You know what I'm saying? Niggas getting a medulla oblongata left on the street. You know, niggas is knocking a medulla oblongata out. You heard? Niggas is really like pushing a wig piece back. Niggas is really knocking niggas' noodles out. You know what I'm saying? It's getting real crazy. But that's why I always advocate, my nigga. You either with it, you know what I'm saying? Or you just gonna have to lay low and stay inside. You know what I'm saying? Because if you ain't got it on you and you without it, that's on you. You know, and to keep it real, right? I was in the East last night, right? And I was going to grab something to eat. You know what I'm saying? I was about to go to Wendy's, son. Up the block, niggas hear the shots in the car. Pop, 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 pop. So I'm like, you know, we heard the shooting, and we thought, you know, I ain't know it was shots at first. I thought it was firecrackers. Then I see police speeding. You know what I'm saying? The DTs, motherfucking squad car. I was like, oh shit, somebody got tapped up. Then I watched the news this morning. 3 people got shot. And they all 3 of them is in critical condition. So I'm saying niggas ain't playing out here. But like I told y'all yesterday, you know, what's going on in the streets right now, it's reminiscent to what happened in the 90s. What they about to do, it's about to be crazy. Like how I said, it's about to be the coldest winter ever. Ever. Shout out to Soldier Sister. You know, Sister Soldier. You know, it's gonna be the coldest winter ever. And to keep it real, a lot of motherfuckers gonna be in that motherfucking cage. They gonna be in that fed. You know what I'm saying? All you gang niggas, all you Bloods and Crip niggas that was running y'all mouths. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep it real, man. Last year, when I saw them with the whole rioting and looting, and I heard what they was talking about, police wasn't doing their job. I said, oh, it's about to be anarchy out here. Just like how they wasn't doing their jobs in the 90s and in the late 80s. you know, in the mid to late 80s, when it was crazy, pre-crack era. It got crazy when the crack era, listen, the crack era was crazy in New York. During that Koch, going in David Dinkins' administration, the streets was on fire. Not just in New York, but all through the Eastern Boardwalk, all through the West, all through the Midwest. It was on fire, you know. It was on fire. You know, Philly right now was on fire, you know. Baltimore, D.C. is on fire right now. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucking Chicago is on fire. New Orleans is on fire. You know, these is places that was on fire back in the 80s, late 80s, 90s. These are places that was having a real problem with violence, gun violence. So right now with New York, you know, looking like they want to get the title back from Chicago and everywhere else. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a particular point that New York City had 2,000 murders during the David Dinkins administration, right? Going into Giuliani. It was 2,000 murders. And I really think why the crime went so high, David Dinkins' administration, because basically he was a black mayor and then they want him to have a successful term. So they wanted to get him out of office, even though he was starting to clean it up. They wanted to get him out of office to put Giuliani in. So, mind you, Giuliani comes in, broken walls policing, broken windows policing. They lock up everybody. That time, by like 9/5, 9/6, 9/7, everybody was getting locked up. By 9/8, 9/9, everybody was getting locked up. 2000s, everybody was getting locked up. So, fast forward to 2021, we having this problem. Look, I was talking about it yesterday. The Bloods and Crips in New York City, right? This is what people don't know. Fun fact. This is what y'all really don't know. And this is a fun fact. In 2001, right? And this was going on. See, when the Bloods and Crips was out here around the late 90s, mid to late 90s, going in like 9/7, 9/8, 9/9, when they really hit the streets heavy. They was hitting the streets around like 9/6, but going into 9/7, 9/8, 9/9, the streets was crazy with that whole Blood and Crip shit, especially in Brooklyn and the Bronx and all that. And in 2001, when they was going after OG, when they went and got OG, when they locked up OG Mac, and they had already had the main brothers who came from Belize, who was like the head of the Crips and shit, and they had brought it here. When they was going after them, and they was going after Mac, they had a gang task force that was supposed to go dismantle the Crips and the Bloods in New York City. What happened was September 11th. You know what I'm saying? September 11th happened 20 years ago. And they wasn't able to dismantle the Bloods and Crips. So, because it was about terrorism. So they had to they had to put the federal money behind terrorism. So now that terrorism is not so much, how you say, the problem, because, you know, we can get into that deeper discussion about that in another detail. But that's not the biggest problem right now. Now, the problem is the gun violence in the cities. Now, look, it's 2021. 20 years, right? 20 years later, after all this had happened. And now they going back. The feds is going back to go and attack the street gangs in New York City. Watch what I'm telling you. They are going to dismantle the Bloods and Crips, and this is going to be their duty to do. Like I told you, they wanted to do it in 2001. 9/11 stopped it. Now they don't have that. They're not dealing with a 9/11 no more. They're not dealing with terrorism no more. Now the main focus is the street gangs. So just like they did the street crews in the 80s and 90s, just like they did the mafia, they're going to do the same thing to the Bloods and Crips in New York City. and nobody want to peep game. Don't you see all of these federal buses that's going on? 9 trays, the jets. Don't you see all the federal buses? They doing it for a reason. You know? With the help of their informants. You know? And like I said, man, y'all niggas thought that going on these platforms, dry snitching, saying that you're a gang affiliate was going to give you cool points. Shout out to Hassan for saying this last night. And I've been saying this. Y'all niggas call yourself gangsters. All you gang niggas call yourself gangsters. Y'all not gangsters, man. Y'all don't move like mafia dudes. Y'all want to play like mafia dudes, but y'all don't move like mafia dudes or play by mafia rules. Because the in this country since the 1900s or maybe the 1910s or 1920s, you know what I'm saying? 1900s, yes. They have been in existence in America since the 1900s. And they still dominate. And you don't even know they even exist because they are what you call a secret society. You will never know that the mob still exists. You will never know that they are around. You will never know that they still doing anything because they don't bring heat amongst them. They are not on the internet. You don't see Italian mob members on the internet talking about mob business. You don't. Active members are not on the internet. Even unactive members are not on the internet. The only ones you see is people that testified. So of course they're going to be on the internet. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that didn't testify, the ones that are still in the mob or might not even be in the mob, but they still affiliated. Yeah, you don't see them on the internet talking. You don't. They move how they supposed to move, like mafia dudes that got mafia rules. You know what I'm saying? You know, in the mob, you don't sleep with a man's wife. You don't sleep with his baby moms. You don't sleep with his girlfriends. You don't do that. It's a violation. And if you do violate and sleep with that man's wife or the mother of his children, you will be murdered. Simple and plain. See, a lot of niggas in the streets and in the hood don't understand that because they are so caught up on this. I'm a real nigga. I'm a real nigga. But what do that mean? I'm a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yo, the mob, let me tell you something about the mob, man. A lot of people want to do what the mob do. The mob, when you hear Nas said God control every union in the city, the mob controlled every union in the city. Every union in the city. Every union. From the garment center, trucking union, everything, construction, everything was ran by the mob in the city. Those are real gangsters. Dudes that had political connections. Those are real gangsters, man. Not y'all niggas that talk about, yo, I'm a gangster, I run my block. Them niggas was a fight. Mob don't fight around. They don't fight over corners. They don't fight over corners. You know what I'm saying? They got their turf. They got their territory. They don't fight over corners. Niggas in the hood fight over blocks and corners that they don't even got no businesses. The mob, when you go to their territory, they own all half of the businesses. The Pizza Red is owned by them. The store is owned by them. If it ain't owned by them, bet you they getting something in there. They get some money in there. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, man, being a gangster is being a businessman. You know what I'm saying? Being a gangster is not being no motherfucking thug. It's being a businessman. That's a gangster. That's a real gangster. Like Pac said, it's MOB motherfucking for real. These niggas don't know nothing about being a mob. They don't know nothing about being a mob. That's why these dudes, when you hear these dudes talking, you know what I'm saying? You just look at these niggas like y'all niggas is not gangsters. Y'all did a couple of jail bids and y'all acting like y'all gangsters. You gotta make your bones on the street. Then when you go in prison, your reputation speaks for you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta make your bones in the streets. Dudes ain't making their bones in the streets. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You gotta make your bones. You heard? You gotta make your bones in the streets. These dudes not making their bones in the streets. But they talk about, yo, I'm a real gangster, son. I do this all day. You already know I lay that murder game down. That's all these niggas be talking about. Oh, I lay that murder game down. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, the violence in the city right now, it's getting crazy. You know what I'm saying? They had a shooting in Inwood. They had a shooting in Brownsville. They had a shooting in the East. You know what I'm saying? And then they had a shooting in Harlem. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, niggas is really wilding out. But like I told you, they wilding for respect. And it's a cycle repeating over and over again. Like I said, with the George Floyd riots, you know what I'm saying? When they was doing the looting, the murder started. When they was doing all the rioting and looting in the city, that's when all the shootings and all the murders was starting in this city. When all the rioting and looting was going on. You know what I'm saying? All the shootings was going on in all of the big cities. You know what I'm saying? All the ghettos. I'm talking about Atlanta, Philly, New York, Jersey, Boston, Connecticut, Baltimore, DC. All the shootings was going on out there. All the rioting and looting was going on. I was watching the news. I was watching Chicago. I was watching. I'm like, damn. So all the rioting and looting that's going on, you know what I'm saying? All the shooting is going on. I looked at Philly, right? They was rioting and looting. Then next thing you know, there's a bunch of shooting in Philly. In Baltimore, a couple years back, when Freddie Gray, the violence got crazy out there. And then the violence is getting more crazy out there. DC, they was rioting and looting. And the violence is getting crazy out there too. You gotta look at it, man. These shit's happening for a reason, man. It's happening for a reason. Y'all think I'm lying, but it's happening for a reason, man. So, the violence in the city is orchestrated. Real talk. You know? So, get ready for the next 3-strike law. Because it's coming. It's coming. I can smell it coming. You know what I'm saying? It's coming. You know what I'm saying? All the bodies dropping. It's election season. You know what I'm saying? It's coming. It's coming. And when it comes, it's not going to be pretty. You know? And with, like I said, with the whole situation with, you know, the murders that's going on, the crazy thing about everything right now is that 99% of what we are seeing in the streets is what has been told for how many times? How many times they've been telling you about all this shit that's going on? Niggas ain't been peeping game. Like, look, Shorty got her wig wrapped, right? In Crown Heights, right? That's not nothing. I done seen, you know, chicks. It was a chick in Brownsville. She was laying shit down. Name was Uzi. She doing life. I think she doing life for 25 years or something. You know what I'm saying? She killed the nigga Papa G brother. You know what I'm saying? The Hood Star nigga. She was Hood Star, but she became Wade Gang. That's how Wade Gang got indicted. That's how they went. See, I remember there was a point in New York, right? They had the little cruise. The biggest bus they had in 2011, 2012 was the Rockstar bus, the Wave Gang bus, BMW, GSC, which was at the time they bust them. YGs was another crazy bus they had around that time. The YBs, what's the other one? Broward Boys. And like around that time, they was just busting a lot of the little street crews in the streets, getting for all the murders, all the shootings that was going on. So now, when a lot of these dudes come out of jail, they either blood or they crip or they folk. They come out, they repping something else. So it's the little niggas that's on the street that's jacking wool, that's jacking YGs, that's jacking shit that niggas was jacking how many years ago. But they jacking the beat from the older niggas. You know, niggas in my age range. You know what I'm saying? They jacking the beat from niggas in my age range. But to keep it real with you, none of these little niggas out here was even outside when YGs was doing their thing. They wasn't outside when motherfucking Wave Gang was doing their thing. They wasn't outside. They was little niggas watching the niggas that's older than them. You know what I'm saying? These niggas was pups. So like I said, man, the cycle repeats itself. It's niggas still doing time right now for a lot of shit. So, you know, they packing them jails up. It's about to get spooky. Like I said, New York is at that time, is at that period right now where the violence ain't gonna stop. But it's gonna stop when that next year come in. Because it's election season. And it's time to lock niggas up. Anytime it's election season, by November, mark my word, by November, a lot of motherfuckers is gonna be in the can. And the biggest gang takedown, because they gonna put, the feds is gonna put big federal money on the biggest gang takedown they gonna have. And it's gonna demolish a lot of these gangs. So a lot of these niggas jacking their blood, jacking their crip online. Man, I feel sorry for y'all niggas, man. Y'all need to keep y'all fucking mouth closed, man. You know? But, listen. They gave niggas a year. They gave niggas a long run. The Bloods, the Crips, they gave y'all a long run in New York City. 9/11 saved y'all niggas. Now they focusing their attention on y'all now. They focusing their attention on y'all now. And it's gonna be spooky.